Hey Dad, we're ready! Hi guys, well, my dad is coming soon. Hi guys, well, my dad is coming soon. Just waiting for him. Okay, he's here. Excellent. He'll be playing today as a fourth perspective, right? Okay.
Hi, I'm Dad, and let's find out what this game is about. I assume that there's a neo-Marxist critique appropriate to this situation. I believe we will start as the wretched proletariat. Understand what it would be like to be born into someone worse than a wage slave, simply without clothing, as is often understood. Perfectly reasonably understood, it is easier to imagine the destruction of the entire world than it is to imagine the death of capital. Well, let's see. It also makes very little sense, I think, to actually pay attention to how to play this game. It makes much more sense to simply make monsters out of everyone. Be the most lustrous monster you have ever seen. And in that way, I will represent the nature of consumerist capitalism focused on, well, various lustrous things like beautiful stories, visual, beautiful brands. Recently, we've seen that, yeah, this is going to be a very, very old. And the reason he's an old man is because he has learned that he does not need the things the capitalists would have him, and instead has come to freedom of no longer being part of the system of oppression that is capitalism. This seems appropriate. Well, we need no more consideration here. Let's just make sure that he is completely emaciated, though. This is an important. The fact is that if you do not have a location in society as a person, either the capitalist, the owner of the means of production, or a wage slave, those who so-called choose to engage in making the capitalist wealthy, then you are a literal pariah. You are forced to live on the streets. You do not get food. And this is the reason that we allow for homelessness. It is a threat. It is a threat against anyone who would fail to slave away for the capitalist class. As we understand, actual slavery itself is over. Well, this isn't true either, right? Actual slavery occurs, like there's still human trafficking, people forced at gunpoint to work in order to, for example, pick tomatoes for Taco Bell. Okay? These things still occur. However, let's see. Prol. This stands for proletariat. Okay? The ultimate goal is to eviscerate excess humanity, those who not make wealth for the capitalist class. So yes, there are actual physical forced labor slaves. It's called human trafficking. In fact, there are more slaves today than when we banned slavery. And that system, of course, continues on. But more aptly, the system of oppression that we see is it no longer one person being slave to one owner, but instead a whole system where if you do not choose to be a slave to someone, then you get nothing and you die. While on the other hand, no one person owns a slave. Instead, they have stock, and that stock, often in a mutual fund, allows them to own the tiniest little sliver of slave wages. In this way, we take all the slaves and we divide them up amongst all the corporations, and we take all the corporations and we divide them up into little bitty shares, and then we use those shares to own tiny bits of slavery. And then you can retire on your own ownership of enough wage slaves. And that's what retirement is when you use stocks.
The Eternal is nowhere to be found.
We can see the misogynistic undertones
And in
of
the night
seeking
of the Black
us.
Knives, Godwyn the Golden was first.
We can also see the use of black as a negative imagery and the blonde as the greatness and good.
Marika's offspring, demigods all.
And then, of course, we have the perpetuation of power based on so-called offspring. And look at how dark-skinned all of the evil people are in this game. Obviously, racist undertones, not intentionally so, but taken for granted. And then look at the mad taint of their newfound strength. See, this implies that people with mental disabilities are somehow evil. This isn't true. It's an old trope, and we really need to away with that.
Which no lord arose.
Ah, yes, and then this is a clearly anti-anarchistic perspective. However, left anarchy is a much better situation. We see that the greatest hemoclisms in history don't come from a lack of a lord, but because there is a lordship that forces it to fight with other lordships for that kind of power. As you can tell.
Now, ye tarnished, ye dead, who yet live. The call of long-lost grace speaks to us all.
Yep, and now appeals to the Greco-Christian concept of grace and salvation, which in modern times has been misunderstood as salvation of one's eternal life, when in fact the salvation is
Deathbed companion.
well, in this life, to live a better life. Furthermore, the appeal to dung eaters, again, with the black skin, but more importantly, I think we would do ourselves a disservice if we did not also admit that that was really cool art. Really, really cool. And it makes no difference at all that the fact is all art is created
one other
in
whom grace would again bless.
all in a social zeitgeist of historical racism and patriarchy and capitalist power.
Cross the fog to the lands between, to stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord.
Well, no doubt the goal here is to become the Lord by having the One Ring of Power, often a reference to the Ring of Golkon, the ability to become invisible as per the Lord of the Rings, where one realizes that without the view of others in society, without that panoptical nature, we come to see the world in a way that is, well, fundamentally selfish. At least that's how the thought experiment goes. Now, are we to believe that of the Ring of Golkon? Are we to believe that the Elden Ring has such power over us? Are we even to believe that having a lord of some kind is something to be desired if it's us? Does it change who we are when we decide that we want power? And does seeking that power actually make it so that we are worse people? Okay, this is a question that I think has to be answered personally. I do not believe that it is possible to answer it ahead of time. Many people do. Many people think that seeking power in and of itself is fundamentally flawed. And I would say that as one gains power, the question is, does one identify with the institution more than human suffering? When that occurs, then of course, yes, you have sought power and the throne has taken you over. However, if you continue to identify with human suffering, then you can recognize the questions at hand for human suffering even as you gain power, and how other people can be encouraged to have that same mindset. Okay. All right, so it would seem to me, and I've never played this game before, that a series of pooped out messages and ghosts running around is indicative of people who are, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to just go ahead and double check this. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn that alarm. All right, we're going to find out this letter, Y, not here. Very good. Light trolling, not there either. Are all of these? I'm going to go ahead and read this poor. Yeah, I would disparage this message. I would disparage many things. That message being chief among them. Yep, I continue to believe that that is a disparageable message. However, it feels like fighting against the endless tide of people who would, time for victory, praise the message. I also disparage times for victory. I'm against them in general, and we will continue on. Praise the Elden Ring. Once again, it is neither good nor bad, but rather a tool. However, I will note that the majority of mass slaughter that occurs within this realm is directly tied to the Elden Ring. And though you may think you may be able to do good to have it, the amount of questionable activity that must be engaged in order to do that seems unreasonable. Though the path be broken and uncertain, claim your place as Elden Lord. No thank you. I would prefer not. Alright, let us read this message. Yeah. Indeed. I will now touch a blood stain. This seems like a reasonable thing to do, and I've never seen a bad reason to touch a blood stain. Yep, there we go. Good, good, good. Uh-huh. And so if you do that, then what you want to do is jump around until you're covered in blood because you forgot to put on any clothes because you're dead. Or not dead, but rather you refuse to be a wage slave for the man. And because of your abject refusal to be a wage slave, you are most likely just a very lithe, jumpy man. And okay, there you go. You touch the blood, and now you have blood shards. That is a combination of shitting and farting, which, as we can tell, is again a Marxist deconstruction of the nature of patriarchy. All right, now why open the door? This is a metaphysical question that's being asked to us. Why should we open the door? And the answer is because it is there. We do these things not because they are easy, but because I need to carry a finger. Now, one might ask, am I not already carrying 5 fingers? And the answer is, once again, no, I am not. Because as a person who is no longer part of the man's system and free from the constraints of the need for clothing, food, or any other social interaction, I have learned that even my own body parts do not count as so-called human body parts. My fingers are not, as it were, proper fingers. But now we enter our true question, our true philosophical question. Why do we open the door? Why? Why read messages? Because it is hard. Do we give up this bit of our humanity and accept the pillaging of the remains of the working class in order that we might attain the ring? Or do we recognize the truth? Our reality, our being, our safety is optimized dropping out of the man's system by living with what we have, appreciating those things we do have access to, reading messages, understanding those messages, appreciating them and the people that brought them. Do we disagree with them? Yes. Yes, we disagree with them. Is that such a bad thing? Is it not a blessing to have those with whom we can have an honest disagreement without being cast out of the wage slave system and lost so that we cannot have the good things in life? I say throw off those good things in life. Why open the door? Why not, I say, closed? And in doing so, we can poop in a bush. We can walk around and touch some blood. As they say, touch grass, I say, touch blood. We can, again, jump difficultly around. We can jump on the blood. A lot of people don't know about that, but jumping on blood actually very good for the stamina, very good for the heart, and very good for resisting the desire to serve the capitalist class. Furthermore, always swinging the bat. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing that for hours, right? If we leave this room day in, day out, swing a bat. That's what we're going to do. What else can we do? Chart ourselves, okay? Like, this is all we're going to do for the rest of our lives if we steal from our fellow... Now, let's be fair. We did not kill this person. And they do have something we need. So is it moral or ethical to defile the remains? I mean, I'm just assuming there's a finger in here. Let's find out. There is a finger in here. But let us consider the nature of a tarnished, wizened finger. I myself am wizened. This doesn't mean this person's a wizard. It just means they're old. And to steal their finger, which seems like, you know, I have no clothes. Maybe I would need their hat. Would be more useful. Apparently, though, I looked at it, and that pool of blood, not theirs, but the pool of feces is. And so I won't be taking those clothes. I prefer my own poop in my underwear. It's just a little hobby of mine, and I'm just going to stick with that. All right, so we should be able to open this door now. And now we take our first steps into becoming the system of oppression that we have always fought against. We have compromised our values, and I cannot see any other choice than to touch every bloodstain, which seems very reasonable. And for this, you know, it's very reasonable that this person murdered themselves. They probably also stole a finger. I only found one finger, so at least 9 other people have come through, and they ran off. Now, one imagines that there's 2 reasons to have bloodstains in a location. One of them, obviously, so you can, yes, chart yourself. Second, so you can see the mistakes that other people made when they died. As you can see, this person came over here, turned, drew a bowstring, and then jumped backwards off a cliff. Okay? Like, these seem like bad life choices. You know, and I'm very familiar with bad life choices. Jumping required ahead. Well, you see, I would say that, is it actually required? You will easily fall. This is the belief. This is encapsulation of the capitalist dilemma, okay? They say to you, if you are not a wage slave, if you do not jump off of here for my pleasure with a jump, a proper jump, okay, then so that I may enjoy you jumping around, you're going to die when you go off the edge of this. I say this. Yes, I will die just walking over the edge, 100%. But you're trying to get me to jump over the edge. The only difference is, do you enjoy it when I die? I'm going to die either way. Will I have to live a life to make you idle and wealthy, living off of my labor? That's what a stock owner is. Someone who owns stock, owns a little slice of my wage slavery, and keeps me from living my own life. They make me jump for their joy, even though I'm going to die anyway. And we are all going to die. Probably. I don't know. Like 1 out of 5 people haven't died yet. So, you know, I wouldn't say your chances are 1 in 20, but that's the math. 1 out of 20 people who have ever lived, still alive. Those aren't good odds, my friends. Not good odds. Also, many people have lied about being able to live forever or how you can live forever. You know, I, for one, live for Nikolai, Ever, and Awen. Those are my children. And so I'm fine with that. It would seem to me that falling over the edge is a bad choice. Everyone around here is a freaking troll and trying to get me to kill myself. And I shouldn't trust anyone or anything. And all of this writing is lies meant to trick me, created by the capitalist class in order to make me a wage slave. So, for example, look at their attempt to use lay myth. Why is it always trio, by the way, seek God? As you can see, they're trying to appeal to the undercurrent of the Trinity. Whether that exists in this universe or not, I do not care. It's clearly a representation of the Christian system. And seeking God meaning, of course, seek to make profits for your God. That is the capitalist class. I think that's kind of obvious. It's a little on the nose, the Marxist critique here, but on the plus side, and this is very good, if you smash the capitalist system, you can get to the true message behind, which reads, "Raise the rolling," which is, of course, a reference to Sonic the Hedgehog, who famously can roll into a ball very tightly. And so we should, in fact, praise Sonic the Hedgehog. He can really move. And part of that is that Sonic has an attitude. And both of those, of course, from the causal condition that, and this is established in canon, he is the fastest thing alive. Okay, and a lot of people don't recognize that being the fastest thing alive is not to say he's the fastest thing on Earth, but rather the fastest living being. There are other living beings that can go faster, but they must rely on machinery to do so. The Flash, for example, is a living being, but no, he does not go faster. This is, of course, unfair because Vision's or strong foe. You know, I am now convinced that this is an attempt for the capitalist class to gaslight me into following them and serving them. Let there be rump. That is a reference, of course, to the ancient tradition of allowing Rumpelstiltskin to steal your firstborn child, knowing that you know his name, so that you can trick him, and then actually he stomps on the ground until such time as, oh my goodness. Alright, so how do I dodge? That's a dodge. Okay, great. Yep. Yep, and that is me getting smashed to the ground. So that would be dodging into an attack only to be killed. This is exactly what it's like to try and fight the patriarchy, try to fight the hegemony of capitalism, trying to fight white supremacy. Usually you end up in a very dark place. No sight, no light, no music, just anger. And I killed everyone. And I'm going away forever. But I'm feeling better. So what do I do? What do I say? Well, fuck me, apparently it all goes away. What do I do? What do I say? Forget you. It all goes away. What do I do? What do I say? Forget that. It all goes away. What do I do? What do I say? I stand in a dark room with a white horse. And the white horse, a metaphor, of course, for purity because of implicit racism. But upon that horse, a maiden who is trying to help me, trying to resurrect me, and bring me into the narrative. Obviously, I'm having none of it. I've decided that I live in this pond now.
One of his kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring. Even if it does violate the Golden Order.
Now she's talking my language. I don't care about the Elden Ring. Okay? I just care about disrupting the Golden Order. Right? I don't have some grand vision of utopia. I just know that the system as it is, I don't like it. I have some good reasons for that. You may think it's because I'm naked. You may think it's because I'm emaciated. You may think because I am a critical anarchist communist who seeks utopia. But as I said, I am not. In all ways, or any way, seeking utopia. The problem I have is that when I was a kid, it made sense for a cool dude like me to have, and obviously, a ponytail. All right, and I still have it. I still have a ponytail. All right, but now the kids think it's cool to have a man bun. Let me tell you, buns have never been cool. Okay, not my buns, not your buns. No one's buns have ever been cool. All right, no one's buns Awen are cool. No one's buns Nikolai are cool. No one's buns Renee are cool. Buns not cool. And so with that fact in hand, and I think we can all agree, this presence of the man bun is absurd. Absurd. And I refuse to change with those times. I just will not do it. That said, last time I was evoked to fall into a ditch, I believe that falling into that ditch, the cave of knowledge lies below, for example. This, of course, is a reference to the knowledge of good and evil. And what they're trying to tell you here, what they're trying to tell me, I can tell what they're trying to tell me, obviously. They're trying to tell me that if I go down there, I will taste of the fruit of good and evil, and surely on this day I will die, okay? But here's the thing. That was a version of Genesis where God walked around, okay? If you believe in a God that can't find someone in a tiny garden that he already created and is walking around and you can hide behind like banana leaves, you know what? I don't know if there's anything I can do to help you, because that's just silly. Okay, so that silliness aside, obviously they're telling me do not go down there. And so, since they're telling me not to go down there, there's only one right choice. Go down there. Am I dead? No, I'm not nearly as dead as I expected to be. It was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it 100% to gain the knowledge of good and evil. What is good? What is good? Dreaming. What is evil? Evil. Playing video games. Obviously. That is the obvious answer. Don't give up on the skeleton. Skeleton's right there. Boom. Done. I will never give up on you, skeleton. There we go. Whoop. All right. Now we're walking through the water. Okay. On one hand, I think reading the tutorial is, of course, essential because understanding how your world works gives you levers of control over the needed systems that we take for granted, enabling us to choose. On the other hand, I don't want to. Okay, so I'm sure that whatever that said, it was fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, touch grass. I touched grass. I touched blood earlier. There's a lot of touching in this game. I'm not going to say what I think about that. All right, let's see. Yeah, obviously, this is an interesting world. Let's read some more trolling here. Good luck. Okay. Yep. Alright, I'm just gonna kill this guy. Yep, now he's dead. And now why did I kill him? Did I have a good reason to? No. I have internalized capitalism. That is where you kill people. So, oh shit. Did I run? Did I get away? Looks like I got away. Alright. Boop, 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 boop. Boop. Did I get points? Did I get points? Is there points? Is murdering people worth points? I feel like a capitalist already. Alright, you know what? It's this power over people that you have as a capitalist by murdering them, by bashing in their heads. I get it now. It was never for the money or being idle. It was just kind of a weird sadism. Okay. Alright, I'll read this one because it feels like I'm gonna die. Use an armament in your left hand or both hands to guard against incoming attacks. Guarding is especially effective when done with a shield. Well, what other armament would I use? Someone's arm? Guarding consumes stamina. If your stamina runs out, your stance will be broken. LB to guard. Okay. Guard. Nope. Oh wow, so I turned on my Berserker Rage, I sharded myself, and I did massive swings. Cool. I probably shouldn't have... I should have... Oh, what? Avoid enemy attacks with a dodge roll or backstab. Both of these consume stamina. L and B. Okay, what's L? Is it? Nope, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Better punch. You know, I don't think that's going to go how I want it to go. I better figure out, where did I put my weapon? Oh, for some reason, that's where my weapon is. Okay, and now we're going to come back over here and punch to the head. Woo, we're both slow, but I'm slower. I don't know what that means, and I don't know why that worked, but it did. Read massage. First off, I failed. Okay. Let's see what's inside this box. Nothing. Huh, it's very much like was explained by the inventor of Lost. He had a magic box that he was given as a child, and you were supposed to figure out how to open it. And 20 years later, he still had that magic box, never having opened it, for the secret and majesty of what might be in it was worth more. The same can be said about these boxes, which are absolutely empty and not worth destroying. Which means that, in fact, I am not in, as some have hypothesized, Hyrule. In Hyrule, fairies live inside of boxes, and the fairies save your life. What does that mean? Nothing. It literally has no metaphor, no simile. It is unrelated to anything at hand. Alright, let us touch blood again. I'm mostly here to touch blood, but I'm also here to hold L and press B. Alright, I call this the Link to the Past maneuver. It is where you roll around because you go slightly faster every roll. Each hand can be equipped with up to 3 armaments, allowing you to toggle between them. Oh, this may be why I keep losing my baton, or whatever I'm fighting with. Armaments can be two-handed, making attacks more difficult to repel with shields and boosting effective strength by 50%. Right-handed armament, left-handed armament, L and R plus Y wield with 2 hands. Got it. Nope, not wielding that with 2 hands. I got stabbed in the stabby parts. Well, that's it. And that's the end of me, and I have died, and now that game is over. I'm playing in ultra hardcore mode. As soon as I die, I uninstall the game and catch my computer on fire. So, now that, well, unfortunately my son allowed me to play on his ultra hardcore mode server. It's been good seeing you all, but now it's time to catch fire to my house.